Throughout the years, Batman has had a ton of villains. I mean, you could argue that Batman's ops reach into the hundreds. But some writers have a weird thing where they'll take a villain of other heroes and shove them into the rogues gallery. Even Clock King was originally a Green Arrow villain before Batman the Animated Series took him and just made him another crazy guy in a suit and tie. But we're not talking about Clock King today. We're going to be talking about a character that sparks a ton of debate within the community about whether or not he belongs in Batman's rogues gallery. I'm of course talking about the world's greatest assassin himself, Jeffrey Epstein! Slade Wilson! Deathstroke has fought Batman a lot. So much so that a lot of people naturally just infer that he's another Batman villain. But what some people might not know is that originally and throughout his history, he was and always has been the arch nemesis of Nightwing and the Teen Titans. Deathstroke's first ever appearance was in the New Titans issue number 2, written by Marv Wolfman and penciled by the late great George Perez. The reason Deathstroke went after the Titans was completing the contract of his late son Grant Wilson, aka Ravager, who was hired to exterminate the Titans before he was killed by all the super duper enhancements he'd gotten from Hive. And in stories like the Judas Contract and onward, Slade became a consistent enemy of the Titans, and it would remain that way for a lot of his publication history. Being a team of up-and-coming teenagers finding their way in the world independently both as people and heroes, a no-nonsense old fart like Slade is the perfect foil to characters like the Titans, Dick Grayson especially. Slade would continue to be regarded as a Titans villain, especially so when Peak Fiction dropped in 2003, making him a household name. Then, these two happened. Arrow, the CW show from 2012, and Batman Arkham Origins, the Arkham prequel game from 2013, both featured Deathstroke as prominent villains, or at least prominent villains when it comes to marketing. In Arrow, Deathstroke is a central antagonist throughout the show, and wants revenge on Oliver Queen for stabbing his eye and causing the death of his friend Shadow. I might have butchered that name, I don't know. And in Batman Arkham Origins, Deathstroke is a mercenary hired by Black Mask to kill Batman on Christmas Eve. Because of Deathstroke's prominence in Arrow and Arkham Origins, he suddenly became a real part of the conversation when talking about Green Arrow or Batman villains. Arkham Origins especially was one of his most influential appearances, which is kind of funny considering he only has like 2 or 3 scenes in the main story total. One of those being the second boss battle near the start of the game before he shows up literally right at the end. Though Deathstroke was a special case, as you could also play him in various combat and predator challenges with 2 additional costumes to boot. It really shouldn't be understated how much of an influence Arkham Deathstroke is. So much so that he appeared in the very next installment of the Arkham games. You know, being a sore loser in your comms, hiding in a tank, getting one-shot by Batman. Yeah, Arkham Knight is certainly a game. And not only that, but the design they had for Deathstroke was what heavily influenced his first silver screen appearance in the Justice League movie. You know, showing up at the last minute, talking to the worst version of Lex Luthor, never showing up again. Yeah, the DCEU was certainly a thing too. As a matter of fact, speaking of the DCEU, the original idea for the Batman before Matt Reeves took over was for it to have Deathstroke as the main antagonist who wanted revenge on Batman for personal reasons, seemingly being a loose adaptation of the Judas Contract, but with Batman instead of the Teen Titans. Which is certainly a choice. For the coming years, starting around the 2010s, Deathstroke started to pop in a lot more Batman-related media, whether it be in Beware the Batman, Batman Ninja, and even the comic book continuation of the New Adventures. Because of all this, a lot of people commonly mistake Deathstroke for being a Batman villain, or even forget altogether that he was meant to be the nemesis of the Teen Titans, although a lot of Titans-adjacent media did still include him. Now, with all this in mind, at the end of the day when everything is on the table, is Deathstroke a Batman villain? It's really not that simple. Okay, here's what I think. Yes, it's definitely true that Deathstroke is the arch nemesis of Nightwing and the Teen Titans, and that's how it always should be. But I think we should also account for Deathstroke's reach as a character. Deathstroke is such a popular character that he's able to frequently spawn his own solo titles throughout the years. And in his long publication history, the Teen Titans haven't been the only people he's ever fought. Even in the comics before stuff like Arrow and Arkham Origins, Deathstroke has fought Batman, Green Arrow, and even Superman quite a couple of times. The thing about Deathstroke, and one of his greatest strengths as a character, is that he's not like other villains. Some villains occasionally fight other heroes, yes, but none do so as frequently as Slade Wilson. Whenever he's not facing the Titans, he's catching hands with any hero that he's paid to do so with. Heroes have their own rogues galleries, but Deathstroke, in a way, is sort of a reverse of that. Deathstroke is one of the only villains in comics that you can say has his own heroes gallery. And Batman, despite not being his main target, is 100% a part of it. Now it should go without saying that if it's a one-on-one, Deathstroke absolutely floors Batman. In fact, he's kicked Batman's ass multiple times. But I think that's what makes Deathstroke's stints in Gotham kind of special in a way. It's something that really makes Batman have to give his all in order to try and outsmart someone who's tactically better than him in every single way. It's uniquely challenging, even more so than characters like Deadshot and KG Beast, who you could argue could fill the exact same role without having to borrow Deathstroke for a Batman story that needs a hired gun. While I don't think Deathstroke should be a mainstay in Gotham, and those two aforementioned characters do just fine, I don't mind it when Deathstroke has a brawl with Batman every now and then. Because Deathstroke's just kinda cool. At least he is cool when he's not written like,
Not like the day 16-year-old girl!
Of course, there's not really much of an interpersonal connection or a deep rivalry with Batman. And I don't think that there should be, unless a writer finds a really good reason for it. But when a villain needs a hired gun to try and kill the Bat, and needs it from the best of the best, maybe it doesn't need to be such a big thing. Maybe you don't need Deathstroke to switch up from his very interconnected personal rivalry with the Titans. Maybe sometimes, just smashing two action figures together once in a while is all you really need. So congratulations, you've reached it to the end of the video. I hope you liked it. This one is definitely nowhere near as long as my other ones, but this is kind of a byproduct of me talking about one singular character instead of like 2 or 4. But I definitely had a lot to say about it, and like I said in my community post, I know my answer is probably not what you expect it to be, but no matter where you lie on the is Deathstroke a Batman villain spectrum, what I can hope is that I've at least sort of made you, if you liked it, make sure to like the video, subscribe, hit the bell so you can be notified whenever I upload, and also leave comments. I love reading comments, even the bad ones. So let me know if you agree with me, let me know if you disagree with me, let me know if I'm a hack and I should kill myself, and yeah, just thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one, I guess.